Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. It only seems like yesterday when Merrick Garland was running roughshod over the United States of America, Christopher Wray was conveniently ignoring every felony and treason of the Biden crime cartel, and Fannie Willis was taking Nathan Wade on all-expense-paid trips to Aruba. Oh, wait. You mean to tell me that is still the current situation? Okay. Let's try this again. Well, my loyal viewers, can you remember the days when the Democratic political party was dead set on getting Donald Trump no matter how, no matter which way? Be it with false prosecutions in New York, fake impeachments in the House of Representatives, or assassin's bullets in Pennsylvania and Florida? Wait, again you say that is still the case? Say what? You mean to tell this puppet that the felons are still up to the same old tricks even though we are nearly 2 weeks past Donald Trump having been duly reelected to the once stolen office of the presidency of the United States? Okay, restart the video. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. Have you heard the latest news? Donald Trump was elected to the office of President of the United States on the 5th of November, but the Democratic crime machine still has her sights set squarely on his head. Yep, you heard it right from this puppet correct. Juan Mershon, Jack Smith, Letitia James, and the usual gang of thugs are up to even more nefarious schemes than you may have been aware of prior. What is this crazy puppet talking about, you say? Well, you see, when little Wani Mershon decided to try to make a name for himself and convict a former, or make that current, U.S. president, he most likely wagered on the premise that the majority of voters would somehow see Trump as radioactive and vote for the opposing candidate, and it would be easy as stealing candy from a baby for little Wani Mershon to put him in an orange jumpsuit. Well, a little thing called a landslide electoral college victory got in the way of the Democrats' carefully scripted master plan. Could Mershon go ahead and sentence Trump to time in the New York State Penitentiary come November 26th? Sure he could, and do not put anything past this soon-to-be disbarred quote-unquote judge. Would Trump surrender to New York State authorities? I would put money on that being a massive negative. What little Wani has done for himself and his crooked band of thieves is to have painted himself into the proverbial corner. What does he do now to save face after having used every banana republic tactic to get where we are at today? Go ahead and send the New York State Police to handcuff and jail the newly elected president? Go ahead. Let us see how that plays out. A little thing called the U.S. Constitution will get in the way, and if that is not enough, then this puppet will venture a guess that U.S. Civil War II will quickly ensue. Does he go another route and put Trump on double top secret probation, complete with an electronic ankle bracelet and the presumed required monthly reporting into precinct headquarters to tell of his whereabouts and doings for the past 30 days? Ha ha ha! Think again. That would most surely interfere with his daily and monthly, for that matter, presidential duties. Any other alternatives? Oh, little Wani Mershon could simply dismiss the show conviction altogether, which would fly squarely in the face of everything Garland and his band of gangsters have done up to this point. He could also schedule another trial to take place after Donald Trump leaves the office of U.S. President in January of 2029 at the ripe old age of 82. They cannot try a sitting U.S. President, no matter how badly they might have salivated to do so. Wani. The option does exist that he could choose to delay until the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals rules on Trump's earlier bid to defer the case from New York State Court to the U.S. Federal Court. Trump's lawyers have been appealing a Manhattan federal judge's decision to deny the transfer, their argument being that Trump's case belongs in federal court because, as a former president, he has the right to assert immunity and seek dismissal. Waiting for the appeals court to rule on the deferral, though, could also serve to trigger further delays down the road. The court has given prosecutors until January 13th to respond to Trump's appeal. That is only a week before he has to be sworn into office. Once Trump is in the White House, his legal team could make fresh arguments based upon presidential immunity. And what's the last play in little Wani Mershon's arsenal? To simply delay sentencing until February of 2029 after Trump leaves office as U.S. president. Hypothetically speaking, were little Wani to do that, anything is fair game. Sure, the sentencing would most likely be constrained to state sentencing guidelines, but in a leftist state like New York, who knows? It could be anything from no time to 3 years in a state pen, all for an 82-year-old man who has done nothing but his best to properly serve all the citizens of the United States, little Lonnie Mershon included. This, folks, is where this circus train has led us. And for the high crime of paying a false accuser to shut her mouth before a general election. Nothing that has not been done in the past, or try William Jefferson Clinton versus Paula Jones for reference, and oh, by the way, is perfectly legal. Get Trump. You and I know that little Lonnie Mershon, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Merrick Garland, and former Garland lackey Matthew Colangelo all sat around a smoke-filled table late one night in lower Manhattan and practiced, quote, "Show me the person, I will show you the crime," unquote, Joseph Stalin incrimination scheming at its lowest form. Now little Lonnie is left as the last man, if you wish to actually call him that, standing in their now infamous grand Lawfare debacle. What will be his last gambit? Well, we'll find out November 26th. Good night and sleep well.